Okay, so like I had to download that, and so anyway, what's left of that is so I put Bentley up in that paddock where Daisy and Tucker always are, and just like bit the bullet. And it was really cool to see Bentley meet up with Daisy, and they've only been apart for about 4 months. So it was kind of a quick reminder. Like he's always been kind of unfazed by her. Like if she acts like she's like, hey, I'm tough, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. Which is cool. It's so much better than seeing him run scared, right? And then Tucker was like, hey, who are you? But of course, he's doing that. I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. But then even a couple times he was like, hey, are you somebody I'm supposed to play with? And that's why I want him to have another adult horse to play with, so he can learn a little bit more. And like I said, Bentley's a little behind on social cues and things, so he would be a good soft teacher. So I guess really the end of it is Dewey, was like totally peace out to Bentley. So that left Bentley, kind of panicking about what he's supposed to be doing. So Dewey was fine for the night, because I had thought I was going to move Dewey and Bentley back to where they were supposed to be for the night so that they could comfortably make this transition. But Dewey was like, peace out, I'm cool. So I was like, all right, Dewey's fine. Bentley, came up to the paddock, and it has a big like street light in it. So with his cataract issues, I'm just like, this is perfect. Like I can look out and see that he's okay. So I can see what's happening. If anything was upsetting him, I can also believe that he's able to have a better vision, because the paddock he was in also, had the barn light shine on it. So he always had kind of light in that paddock space. So this morning, it was time to bring them all in. And it was that you formulate your plan, because now, the bring in routine might have to be altered a little bit based on where everybody is, and how is leaving Bentley there. If I just take Tucker and Daisy in, and you take in consideration, well, Bentley is used to being in a paddock by himself and having me return for him, and he's been pretty good on that independence level. He doesn't freak out. Should I bring Logan in first so that Dewey doesn't find out the hard way that, Logan is a different horse when it comes to owning the gate? Do I worry about Logan hurting Dewey? Where do I start? So I had made the decision I was going to start by bringing Logan in, but yet they were nowhere to be found. And I'm like, I'm actually looking on the ground for big hoof prints to see if, oh my God, did they get out? And knowing that if they did get out, there would be giant footprints, at least at the barn at one point, right? So I didn't see that. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe they're just off happily grazing. They could care less about coming in. So I decided, okay, fine. I'm going to go back to doing it the way I would normally do it. And Daisy and Tucker would be the first two to come in. And then it was always Dewey and then Bentley. But Bentley was always left alone, but with Teddy and Logan over the fence when I would bring Dewey away from him. I'm like, well, let's give it a whirl. So I always kind of go with the plan. Like I set out to have a plan, but I always check the temperature of the room, and make adjustments based on that. And everybody came in. Okay, so after I went back for Bentley, got Bentley, Logan and Teddy and them were still nowhere to be found. I'm like, oh boy, this is weird. So I brought Ritz and Katie and Tyson in, and that's way out of order. And finally, when I brought Katie and Tyson in, I glanced over and I saw Logan like walking towards the gate, almost like, just when you first come out of your room and you're on your way into the kitchen to start your coffee pot. He was like totally just like in stretch mode. And I was like, all right, nice, relax, but I don't see anyone else. But at least I see they're in there. And then I saw Teddy somewhat behind him, and I grabbed Logan where there was no conflict with Dewey whatsoever. And when I came back out for Teddy, I saw Dewey make the farthest entrance to the other paddocks. I saw him come through there and gallop to the gate, and Teddy allowed him to stand at the gate ahead of him. So I was like, all right, you know what? Teddy knows how to be left behind, because it's usually Logan first and then Teddy. So why don't I make sure that I use kind of that dynamic? And I took Dewey first. And Teddy was fine letting me take Dewey first and not Teddy be like, yo, I'm the one. And then everybody came in quiet. Everybody had a nice peacefulness about them. And to me, that is like the way best feeling in the world. I've thought about doing this transition with them for probably about 2 months on a daily basis. 2 months to the point to where I think maybe I should do that this weekend. And then I talk myself out of it. Oh, Tucker's still too young. I don't. And then I come up with some reason why I shouldn't do it yet. And then, like the fencing, that's part of what inspired me to finish my fencing projects, was because, well, I can't put Dewey with Teddy and Logan until those couple pieces are fixed, because he may try to climb through the fence. So that was done. It's been done. And I still can't come up with a reason to do it yet. And then last night, I don't know, I was inspired to do it. It's got to be done by November, so might as well get them comfortably doing it now. And I could not be happier with the level of calm that existed. That's what matters to me the most. I hate stressing out my horses. It stresses me out in anticipation that they might stress out, and then if I actually see them stressing out, it's hard for me. It's very hard for me to be like, you're gonna be fine, where they're just like, oh my God, this is different, or oh my God, I don't know him, the one that's chasing me. And I have so much anxiety about that part of horse management. And I always try to convince myself, there's these farms, that have maybe 4 fields, period, and that's the farm, and they have big boarding facility. And it's like, if your horse comes to stay there, tomorrow morning, you're going to find your horse out in the field with the other 15, 20 horses. And he was just thrown out there. The person closed the gate and went back to the barn and didn't think anything of like even being worried about your horse's safety. Didn't even like stand around and watch to make sure it didn't get its butt kicked. And I did have a situation too, where I actually thought 2 horses worked out okay. I put 2 mares together. And I was going to start a mare field, because although the farms that I've been at have mare fields and gelding fields, and I was going to start my own mare field. And I put them together, and they seemed to do okay. And then I went about doing my chores. And all of a sudden, this girl who was helping me, she yells my name and says, Katie's beating up Raisin. And by the time I got out there, it looked settled, right? Raisin was at the far end of the field, and Katie was kind of zigzagging, like keeping her that way. But still, didn't look like there was a conflict, didn't look like there was a fight going on. I went out to get Raisin. Raisin, the vet had to come. A lot of stitches. So I've had those ones that just didn't work and scared the crap out of me. And so it just punctuates. I had one horse get put down. I had another horse that had, beyond a good amount of stitches, and in multiple places, and so it's a real stress for me. I've had the experience, and I'm so glad that this one went off. Looked like it was a little touch and go for a second there with Bentley, but I'm so grateful that he was able to get moved and have a peaceful night, and every day is only going to get better for him. I think I like him being kind of in the, walking around in a paddock with 2 other horses that he almost feels a little superior to, but not a jerk. Where when she gets a little pushy with him, he's just like, yeah, talk to the hand. So I'm very happy, and just thought I would share the transition stories that, you may not realize maybe. I might be exceptional, right? In the sense that I may be the exception. Because if you keep your horse with me, I stress out about your horse. I worry about your horse's comfort, his emotional, mental comfort. And like I said, there are farms that just say, look, these are our 3 fields. He's probably going to go in that one with those 20 horses, and then you make the executive decision, obviously, to bring your horse there, but you have no control over how that introduction goes. I even have, from my old farm too, I have introduction paddocks, like where I'm going to introduce 2 horses, paddocks that are the safest, nobody can get cornered, nobody could get hurt. Like, I think that, and then like, not only do I think it through, like I'm already thinking about this baby that's not coming until like November, and trying to make, the easiest, softest transition for myself, I think, much more than it is for the horse. So if you didn't know, maybe your farm owners really do take that much consideration for the health and mental and emotional well-being of your horse. And if they do, and if you do believe you have that kind of farm, thank them. Thank them for caring that much, because I lose sleep, and I don't have a lot of sleep to lose. All right, so thanks for listening. See you later.